So, a lot of controversy. Is it flat? Is it round? Are we spinning? Is there a curvature? Here's another theory. It kind of mixes both. Ancient Greek, Norse, and Hindu cosmology all focus on an orb as the universe. And after watching enough flat earth videos and a couple of these, I went down the rabbit hole of the cosmic egg. And after watching Martin's video, shout out to you, bro, I decided to make a 3D version presentation of the whole thing with my own couple spins. I urge you to watch his videos too. Links will be in the description. So let's walk through how this universe may have started. Step 1. Out of the void, the Holy Trinity gets created. Birth, life, death. Repeat. Step 2. The Holy Trinity creates its womb to protect itself from itself, the void. Then the Trinity separates into 3. Positive, neutral, and negative. Next step, the cosmic vortex is created. This gives us our oscillations, our weather, our currents, our airflow, etc. Then, our actual Earth, the rock, a 3-level pyramid on both sides. We are on the 3rd plane. This gives us our 4 elements of life: air, earth, water, and fire. Up above, the galaxies and the stars and the firmament are put in place. Next, we have our toroidal fields. These electromagnetic fields protect and separate all the lands. They also oscillate at different speeds, giving us all our rotations of the different planets. Next, the suns and moons are put in place. 3 suns, 3 moons, with Mercury in the middle, acting as both a sun and a moon. And there you have it. Earth, the universe, within a multiverse, within a masterverse. We can't get past lower Earth orbit. That's that first toroidal field to the lands of Mars and Venus. The Antarctic is not the South Pole. The Antarctic is the perimeter around that first toroidal field. When they say they're going to outer space, it doesn't mean up. It doesn't mean to land on stars. You can't do that. It means to go outside the perimeter to outer lands. When they talk about alien life forms or other life forms, it means coming from these other lands. So who knows what's beyond those perimeters? That could be the land of the aliens. Maybe we're the aliens. Maybe the outer perimeter has even more life forms and resources and inhabitable land. Maybe some of us already get to go there. One thing's for sure, if this is true, I could see why they'd want to hide it. The resources on these planes are obviously limited if this is all designed. If there really is a dome above us, and we're stuck here, and we can prove it, then the first thing we'll want to do is break out, figure it out. Why is it here? Why are we here? Who built this? Next, the religions will probably all claim they were right. Next, chaos, panic. The elite have done a great job at the divide and conquer campaigns over the last generations. Now, it's down to gender wars, identity wars, regional wars, resource wars, and the most important, the war on your mind, body, soul, spirit, perceptions, indoctrination of who you think you should become and what you should spend your life doing. We're not unified, and that's the last thing they want. This scares some people. This makes others laugh. They'll continue believing we're spinning on a ball, defying all kinds of logistics. But okay. The cool thing though is we're having a mass awakening. All the holy books pretty much tell this same story, just giving all the variables and planets and suns and moons their own names and actors and stories to go by. Being in the arts for the last 25 years, well, my whole life really, but professionally for 25 years, I understand one thing's for sure about music, art, feelings, and this world itself, and that's frequencies and oscillations. And we all come from a sine wave, operate in oscillations and cycles, and so does this planet. It breathes, it goes through cycles, it goes through patterns. The suns and moons go through multiple oscillations at the same time. This model also explains lunar and solar eclipses rather easily, rainbows, color theory, etc. also rather easily. The point of this, if any, don't let it scare you, even if all of it is true. If anything, this should help you at least gain some knowledge, become a little more illuminated, and understand your life, your body, your mind, your soul is also a big oscillation machine, and you should be oscillating every single day at your full potential. So that if this next life, previous life, we are our own ancestors thing is true, you can ascend in your next lifetime to becoming your own star of stars.
I had my eyes closed, my ignorance was bliss, but then it died slow as I replaced it with my fist. Now I'd rather know and rise from this abyss. Now that I'm aware that I'm infinite consciousness, I had my eyes closed, ignorance was bliss. Now I'm being followed for spreading these messages. The threats might be hollow, my response serious. I reject Rain Man and umbrellas still get wet. I had my eyes closed.
It's true, all of us used to be one on the same vibration. The best way to explain it? We'd have to go either back in time or back to the future. To the starting point of time, 0, where all the axes meet. This is actually the death and the rebirth of consciousness.
I had my eyes closed, my ignorance was bliss, but then it died slow as I replaced it with my fist. Now I'd rather know and rise from this abyss. Now that I'm aware that I'm infinite consciousness, I had my eyes closed, ignorance was bliss. Now I'm being followed for spreading these messages. The threats might be hollow, my response serious. I reject Rain Man and umbrellas still get wet. I had my eyes closed.
With the huge controversy on whether we do live on the spinning ball or a flat plane, I'm here to present an alternate theory, kind of mixing both. Ready? At first, out of the void, the nothingness, the timeless, spaceless, and matterless abyss, chaos finally met order. It is intelligent. It is beautiful. It is everything and nothing. It is all at once. It is syncretized. I call it infinite consciousness. One day it decided to finally create a womb for itself, where it can build a home to create an experience within itself. So the Holy Trinity was designed, executed, and it's perfect. This is essentially the birth of consciousness. In the center is absolute consciousness, where everything overlaps: birth, life, death, creation, sustenance, and destruction, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Everything is divided into threes, hence the 33.3333, etc. number being so popular and important in our society. It's also worth noting, this is where I believe the first sine wave was ever created. That is the breath, the in, the out, the up, the down, the left, right, etc. This is life, consciousness, cycles, repetition, patterns. With its intelligence, the Holy Trinity creates its home, its womb, the first of 5 rings. This is the seed of life, where everything starts. While slowly transitioning from chaos to order, the Trinity divided itself into three portions. Just like on a magnet, you have red and blue, positive and negative. Here we have birth, which is up top, Polaris, the highest star. In the middle we have life, which is green. And on the bottom we have death, which is red, negative polarity. This is also why we have RGB in our color codes. I'll actually explain that one in a bit more detail a little later, because it is important. Next, the Trinity started to stir its creation, essentially creating our cosmic vortex, the universal highway, and our atmosphere generator, all basically connecting us to the Masterverse, so they say. Up top, this also creates the mainframe that powers it all. This gives us our energy, our weather, our flow of airs, waters, currents, all spinning clockwise, oscillating, and giving us our gases, gravities, densities, buoyancies, turbulence, etc. The upper part of the orb is known as the land of the gods. This is where the star of stars, the director of everything, sits. Under him, Omega, Andromeda, and the Milky Way, all giving birth to the first breath by Neptune and Uranus, giving it its first oscillation. This is what mixes everything. This is what creates our actual clockwise spin. We know it as the vortex, the cosmic vortex, or the black hole. Next, we have our actual Earth, built in three parts as well, both above and below. Like they say, as above, so below. So we have three-part pyramid here, and each level of these pyramids are our lands. So we have the crust, the mantle, inner core, and outer core. This is also what gives us our four elements of life: air, earth, water, fire. Also, now that you have this viewpoint, you can see that there is such thing as space. However, it's not to go to other planets up there, it's to go to outer lands beyond our perimeter. Why can't we go to the perimeters? This is why, right here. These are called toroidal fields. You guys know them as the Van Allen belts. There are 5 toroidal fields that separate the lands and give each its own ecosystem, its own sun and moon, and give each its own atmosphere, and rotate and oscillate to give the Earth its breathing system. Okay, this allows the whole orb to breathe in and out, and these toroidal fields protect each perimeter, or we can call them districts. So we are on the center one, and you'll see 4 here with a tiny one in the center of our Earth, which is the North Pole. Okay, there is an actual polar field there. There is actual energy there. Compasses get pulled there. So let's take a closer look. These electromagnetic fields all oscillate at different speeds. So if we go by this theory, then the sun is traveling around us at around 1,000 miles an hour. And the other stars are also traveling in their respective speeds in their own perimeters. The second perimeter with Mars is 67,000 miles an hour, and the outer perimeter is close to 500,000 miles an hour.